SEO Ranking bridges the gap between you and innovation. We power our tools with machine learning and AI. Experience the evolution.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So we have an amazing event and workshop for you. So this is from Blue Links to AI snippets. So we'll be looking at benchmarking brand discoverability in AI. And you're doing this with SE Ranking. So I hope you are just as excited as myself, because I'm also going to be learning, and I'm sure you guys will be as well. Just to introduce myself, so I'm Rejoice Jaku. I am an SEO ranking partner as well as an SEO and AI content strategist. I'm all about the inclusive marketing, co-founder of Be Digital UK, and I've been a speaker for some time as well. But this isn't about me. We are here with Mike K. So Mike, please give us a little introduction about yourself.
Hi, Joyce. So happy to be working on this together today. And hi, everybody. I'm Mike. I'm a director of product here at SE Ranking. And well, I'm responsible for everything product and design here at our company. So from, ideation of what kind of things we should be working on and how do we better listen to our customers and to the market to pick the items that we work on, and to leading our team into executing and producing the solutions that you guys would be using, hopefully, daily. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. No, I'm really excited for this. Thank you so much, Mike. So yeah, I'm very much happy to sort of first give you, some house rules and talk about a bit about SEO ranking and, and this workshop. So we, SEO ranking is about a specialized tool, and as SEOs, we all need that specialized tool because there's lots of things to get done in SEO. So with SEO ranking, you have a complete SEO toolkit, and you can sort of use that to leverage around 30 plus SEOs tool from keyword research, our favorite thing to do, to competitive research, and all about backlinks. With SEO ranking and their toolkit and all of their tools and features, you get accurate data in this, AI driven world now. We are relying a lot around data. And what SEO ranking does is it gives us the AI powered algorithm and allows us to look at unique data sets for that precise ranking data and insightful analytics. But it's also looking at collaboration, right? So it has all these amazing collaboration features where you can manage your SEO product and projects, where you can automate that reporting, and as well look at adding clients and manager seats so that you can give visibility to your clients as well. And it's all easy to use, easy to scale, and a great way if you were trying to impress your clients. So moving forward within this session, so we have quite a lot to show you. So we're going to cover a few things within the AI search toolkit. We're going to look at Google AI overviews research. We're definitely going to go into AI mode research. I know that Google AI mode sparks a huge conversation within the SEO community. So we're going to go right into that. And we're going to touch on LLM visibility. We're going to look at, what we're talking about when we say results, AI results tracker. And at the end, we're going to have some time for some Q&A. But let's go to the expert. Let's turn it to Mike, and Mike will take us through the toolkit, and we can enjoy and learn.
Yeah, thank you for this amazing intro, Rejoice. And yeah, I'm hoping that's going to be a conversation as we go through all these topics, right? And I guess even before we dive into the research pieces, I just wanted to kick this off with the fact that, surprise, surprise, right? AI search is changing user behaviors rapidly. And yes, Google is still the monopolist in traditional search, and most of you, I'm hoping, still optimizing for it, and rightfully so. But the behaviors are changing, and hundreds of millions, if not billions of users are relying on the likes of ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and others to do their research before navigating to the target website. And with that in mind, we have solutions up our sleeve to help you both with the changes in Google and with the changes in the search landscape itself. So we're still developing our classic SEO solutions, and they're part of our main subscription. And sorry for the word classic. That's just something that the way we talk internally about it. And then on top of SEO, regular SEO, when you want more, we are now offering this dedicated experience for researching in AI search and rank tracking there too. And that's a part of this new add-on that we are launching very soon. That's called AI Search Add-on, where we're going to be offering quite a few different tiers. So let me walk you through what's already in the platform and how you can optimize for AI search with SE ranking. Obviously, as Rejoice has said, it all starts with a high level picture, right? With AO and AI mode that are rapidly changing the market, and you want to understand where you're at and where your competitors are at. And so, with that in mind, we're upgrading our competitor research solution. It already surfaces here in the middle your AIO research mentions of your brand and how many times you're present as a source in AIO responses, as well as how much traffic you're getting from AIO. And so in this regard, you can dive deeper and see what your average position is, and how the traffic and positions are changing over time. And you can see, we're looking at SE ranking data right now. Our AIO traffic has been growing, right, month over month significantly. But then, sorry, what's even more interesting is that you can go from just AIO into AI mode and soon to more solutions. Right now, our AI mode research solution is kind of lightweight, right? The only thing that it does is it checks for all of the keywords in our database, which is hundreds of millions of keywords, and it tells you which ones. I don't know what I did here. I think I just broke the app, and sorry for that. Live demos be like that. So when you go into AI mode research, what we're doing is we are going through our entire database of keywords, and we're especially focusing on longer tail keywords and the stuff where from the people also ask section, where they're actually more long tail, right? Where they're actually more like questions. And we tell you for which ones you already got a mention or a link. And that could be your starting point. If you already have a topic in mind for which you want to optimize, you can go ahead and pick the ones that are containing the words that you care about. Right? For me, for the purpose of the stats, this could be AI overview, right? These could be my AI mode. These could be like GEO, and I'm sorry if you could hear the noise. These could be AI SEO and stuff like that. And you'll be able to just quickly filter out all the keywords. Yeah, I think, I wonder why this is not finding anything for me. But so what you'll be able to do is, I don't know what's going on here. The app is failing me today. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to find the keywords that you care about and see which ones you're already ranking for in the topics that you care about. The idea is that you pick the keywords that you want, and then you add them into your rank tracking solution to optimize for them, right? So this is a way for you to understand where you stand, where your competitors stand, and what kind of keywords to optimize for. That's one way to do it. Until we're right now working on extending this solution into ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini, and this is going to hopefully be out in just a few weeks, so early September. Until then, we have something else to help you find the prompts you might want to rank for, you might want to work on. And the way we do this is you can just type in your website into this AI visibility research solution. You can say run analysis, and what it will do, it'll suggest the niches that you might care about, like SEO tools and digital marketing. For me, that'll be something like SEO data too. And once you start the analysis, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a few hours for us to grab all the prompts. But then what you'll get is you'll get a report like this. And what's happening behind the scene is we are synthesizing the prompts that your audience is likely to type in to ChatGPT and AI mode and the likes by using some of the people also ask, but also our knowledge of different search queries in regular search. And using these two inputs and synthesizing the prompts, you are getting these comprehensive reports on which niches and which topics within these niches you are present in and how present you are. The beautiful part about it is these prompts are specialized. They take both generic prompts, like how to automate SEO reporting with advanced rank tracking tools right here, as well as the ones that are looking to compare your brand with others, so you can kind of understand who is being mentioned there too. And so when you go into to explore these prompts and pick the ones that you want to work with, that you want to optimize for, we show you all these niches here. We show you the topics, right? And within those topics, there are these prompts. You can see which ones you're already being mentioned for, or what is your average position there, what is your average visibility. And you can click into a specific prompt and see what the response was like, what was your, and who else was mentioned there. Once you've established this list, and I don't know, Rejoice, would you like to add anything to this? What's your plot? What is your process right now for finding the prompts? Is that anything like it, or how do you approach this right now?
No, I mean, to be honest, I think that's been one of the most difficult things SEOs have been having, is just to kind of discover what are the queries people are searching for within LLMs, and how can we get access to it, because that's sort of going to help us with content and actually think about thought leadership and authority. So this is a very, very interesting kind of seeing that prompts and seeing, when we're mentioning and the average visibility, because at the moment it's been very difficult for us to kind of tap into that.
Yeah, it definitely is difficult, right? And as you can see, the table that you're getting here is kind of thin, right? It's far being as data rich as your typical tables for SEO, where you have the exact search volumes, the traffic that you're getting or your competitors are getting, right? The things like keyword difficulty and trust levels and stuff like that. It's not there yet, right? But we're actually working on it, and very soon you'll see more on this. So right now, picking the prompts is a bit of an art, right? More than the science at this stage. So this is our proposed solution for now, while we're working on something more robust for you. When you have these keywords, what you're going to do is you want to head out to the AI results tracker, right? Here we have ChatGPT and AI mode to pick from. You can actually apply them to different locations, and the results are, in terms of locations, are vastly different, especially for topics that are more sensitive. Like if you go for topics, the stuff that I've been checking, for example, is healthcare or e-signature. The responses are wildly different in terms of the kinds of brands that are being mentioned, the kinds of sources that are being used. So what we're doing here in AI Results Tracker, we are working with Google AI Overviews, Google AI Mode, and ChatGPT, and we're adding Perplexity and Gemini very soon, so over the coming few weeks. And what we do here is we don't simply go and poll with ChatGPT. A lot of solutions on the market, what they do is they would go and just poll the ChatGPT API, for example, or Gemini's API. But the responses that you're going to get are going to be far from what people are actually getting, right? From the responses that you'll be seeing here. Instead, what we're doing is we're actually scraping the results that actual ChatGPT and AI mode users would be getting. So once we've scraped that, we extract all the brand mentions from each response. For example, let's take this prompt. We're tracking all of the brands that are being mentioned and all of the source links. We can actually transfer them into URLs, and all of the source links that are being used to create the response. And then we aggregate all of this into a view that should help you work towards one of the 3 main goals that we believe are there in terms of AI search optimization. Actually, Rejoice, I'd be happy to hear what you think about it. But right now, what we're seeing is the majority of customers, they want to focus on receiving those precious mentions of their brands in AI answers. And so that's why this is the very first number that you're seeing here at the top left. The percentage of AI responses that are mentioning your brand. That's number one. And the goal number two is becoming a source, a trusted provider of information for AI chats. And here, this is why this is the second number that you're looking at. And yeah, sometimes it's both, and sometimes people are also focusing on the sentiment, whether you're getting negative or positive sentiment. And we're actually working on something that we're gonna show you, hopefully in the next workshop, as far as like how we think you can do this, how you can optimize for sentiment in AI chats, but not today. Rejoice, is that your experience? Is this what you're optimizing for? Your teams are optimizing for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I work currently with a lot of people within PR and content, and one of the things that they tend to sort of look for is that brand mention, right? And it's really cool to see that, SE Ranking's AI tool actually calls that out, because it's sometimes very difficult, especially when you're working within the B2B space and you're trying to sort of I guess speak to C-suites, right? They're very much interested in where's the brand being mentioned, and how can we have visibility within those mentions for within LLM's models. So it's pretty cool, and I think the KPIs that we're seeing, especially the mentions and the links, and even down to the percentage of it, allows us to now cross collaborate with PR and content, because now we actually have that data to say, hey, these are, you're being mentioned, but also more importantly, these are other brands, your competitor brands that are being mentioned, and then it allows you to explore the why. So this is very, very much handy, and I think it's very insightful if you're working within the B2B space, even e-commerce space, and I played around a little bit with it, and I was blown away. So honestly, that was a great demonstration, Mike.
Thank you, Rejoice. I think we're going to pause with the demo a bit and answer some of the questions. And while we do that, can you please send the link to the survey about what you guys are optimizing for our audience? Like, do you optimize for mentions? Do you optimize for source? Maybe both, maybe something else. If we can send out the link into the chat so you can quickly respond to that while we're working through some questions. Thank you. All right, let's take a few. I'll just go from top to bottom and see which ones that we can respond to. First one, I believe, is the AI mode research enrolled in the entire Europe as well? Well, not entire Europe, right? But we cover, so first of all, there's US, UK. There is France, Spain, Netherlands, Germany. I'll actually go ahead and just check it out myself, because I might just be off with a few names. So let's say it's SE ranking. Whoops. Let's say it's SE ranking, and let's check out the countries. Yeah, so Germany is definitely on the list. The UK is there for sure. Spain must be there, as well as Netherlands. Yeah, there's Netherlands. There we go. Let me see. Spain. Yeah, Spain is there. So we do cover, at least in Europe, Spain, France, Germany, Netherlands. These are the critical areas for us to cover for AIOs, and both for AI mode. So you should see them. But I'll check out the documentation to give you a more definitive answer a bit later. All right.
Amazing. I think we have another question here. I think it's mostly around access. Those people already with the pro version. A few have asked, I can't access AIO research and AI mode research on my interface at the moment. Maybe the same issue you're having. And there's other comments there around access. So if people already have that pro subscription, is this an additional add-on, or do they have to sort of buy an additional for the AI toolkit?
So AIO and AI mode research should be available for all the current plans. So V7 and I think V6 should have access too, which means that if you have a subscription circa 2024, you're definitely fine, right? If you start with this ranking from 2024. If you have an older plan, you might not have access. And the best course of action is to just go to billing and upgrade from there. I've also seen a question about, like, if I can try this through trial. Yes, if you go into and create a new trial account, you can try out all of these. You can try out a results tracker. You can try out research tools there and see, like, if it makes sense for you to upgrade to a newer plan. And all of these features are bundled into the main subscription. It's just the limits are not as generous as they are for our main SEO solutions. So you can still try them. You can still get value from them, just not at the scope as you would get with the Google when you're optimizing for Google or Bing.
Amazing. Do you want to take one more question before we jump back into the demo?
Let's just do one more and then go back to
So
it.
this question is really fun. I like it because it's about reporting, and reporting is a very serious business when we are looking at SEO, right?
Oh yeah.
The question is by Rachel Johnson. So thank you so much, Rachel, for this question. Will AI features eventually be available to add to reports in the reports builder?
Oh yes, Rachel. I mean, there's no way they're not added, right? So yes, they are going to be added. Right now, what you'll see is AI Results Tracker is available as a guest link, or you can create a sub account for a client and invite them into your account and only provide them access to this part of the solution so they can see what you're seeing. And then we're also going to add support to reports, so you can generate your beautiful PDFs and send them to a customer in this way.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mike, for that. So yeah, let's get back to the demo and we'll answer a few more questions along the way.
Yep. All right. So yeah, first things first, you see the share of answers that mentions or cites you. Second is there's a set of widgets to show how likely the user is to spot your brand or your link first. And typically, in SEO, we're again talking about positions. We're thinking, top 1 gets typically this kind of CTR, top 2 another kind of CTR. So here we don't yet have, there's not yet an established data and research on the CTRs there, and our ML engineers are actually working on some advanced stuff to get this to you. But right now, as a proxy, we show you your presence in top 3 links or top 3 brands, meaning that if you are mentioned at all, if you're in top 3, it's very likely that you're right there in the viewport. So when even without, if it's an AAO, they don't have to expand the response, or if it's ChatGPT and they don't want to read through the entire answer. I don't know if you don't ever skip a part of it, which I'm kind of guilty of that. So this is your proxy for how likely the customer is to actually see your brand, even if it's mentioned. And the last thing is we show you the presence of sources and responses, right? Here we're looking at AI mode. AI mode is very consistent with showing sources, right? So it's almost all the time, it's 100%. Sometimes for some prompts, we would see not source links, but it's almost never the case. It's a different story with ChatGPT. Wait, what's going on here? It is a different story for ChatGPT, but I guess not for the set of prompts. Yeah, there we are. Sorry, the widget just hasn't updated. It is a different story for ChatGPT. Even for the prompts that I've selected, the presence of sources, as you can see, is like 25 to up to 60%, which means there are plenty of answers where there are no sources listed. And when there are no sources, obviously, you have less of a good idea of how to get ranked there. All right. Actually, this metric here is also a good indicator that we're not using API. If you're looking at another solution, a lot of them are using API, and they won't be able to tell you when the sources are there, or they're either going to be there all the time if they're using Search API for something like ChatGPT, or they're not going to be there at all. So I guess, the last chart here is there to show you your AI visibility in motion. And that's because AI search results are so volatile, right? You can see that they're going from like 4 to 10% here every day. And with AI mode, it's a similar picture. If I pick a different project here, you'll see the volatility can be even stronger. Just a moment, I'm going to pick a bigger date range. Yeah, it can go from one day, I mentioned presence is 57%. The other day, it's 7%. And so because of that, I really like looking at it by weeks. And this is actually the way our team is also looking at this, because of the volatility of responses. All right. I guess we kind of talked a bit about the view of individual prompts here in the competitors list. What we're seeing our customers doing, right? We've talked about how you want to optimize for mentions, and the way people do it is right now it's a bit of a cumbersome process, because people go ahead and they export this data, and then they look at the sources that are repeating, the URLs that are repeating, and then they're going for the ones that are used more frequently, and then they go and check if their brand is present there manually, and then they go and work with, it's essentially similar to a backlink process, but you want to make sure that your brand is mentioned by a source, right? So you're working with news sources, you're working on your social presence, you're working on your own blog posts and stuff like that. So that's what's happening right now. And actually, to help you with this, we're working on some new solutions. And if we can quickly switch to the presentation, so I can show you guys a few slides before we go back to the demo. So this is the slide of what you can expect in September in terms of research, right? What we're working on is we want you, when you're opening our competitive research, to see your overall visibility, both in traditional search in Google and in AI search, which is far more fragmented right now. And this is what you can expect very soon. And then if we go to the next slide, to the actual optimization, the next update that is coming to our AI results tracker, outside of just introducing new systems support, is the detailed sources analysis and the information for you about what kind of brands are being mentioned there, and if you are mentioned with a source, so you can actually work, like have a proper process right within this ranking of working with these sources and working towards getting your brand mentioned for each prompt. So these are a few things that we're working on right now. I guess we can go back to maybe a few questions now. Maybe Rejoice, what do you think about the screenshot that we've just shown? Do you think would that be helpful to you, or?
No, absolutely. I think I'm so into AI and content. It's literally my life at this point. So that was very interesting. And I do agree that, you just kind of, even from the sources that you were talking about, just to sort of go back to that source quickly, it's such a good thing to know what sources are, those information being pulled from, because when we look at, including internal linking strategies, or looking at working with digital PR and doing outreach and link building, understanding those sources is good, and having visibility is great, just so we know where to target. So that was an excellent, that got me really excited. So I was like, yes, I can take this back to my workplace and say, hey, we've got a new tool. So no, that was really good. So I agree. Let's go back to a few questions. I've seen some.
Amazing. And before we go to the question, I just want to say that mentions is definitely big right now, but we're also working on kind of unveiling the mystery of behind how do you become a source, a trusted source. And I mean, there are quite a few scientific words that you'll have to learn if you want to really understand what's going on behind the scenes there. But we're going to make it easy for you to just work on making sure that your content and the pages that you think should be sourced are far more likely to become one of them. And if you join our next workshop, that's when we're going to be talking about that.
How excited. So you have something to look forward to, so make sure you do come back to the next workshop. One of the questions asked, and I think it's a really good question, is by Lau Para. So it's around, could you select competitors to see if they are being mentioned, and how?
Oh, good question. So when we started working on the solution, it did include it. And actually, that was supposed to be the next iteration. But then when we started receiving feedback, we realized that with this particular one, we're kind of limited with the interface that we have right at the moment. And so, I hope nobody takes screenshots right from this. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to change my screen share, and I'm going to show you what we're working on. I guess it's an exclusive preview just for you of the kind of things that you'll be able to see with this solution, right? You cannot do this. You cannot do this right now, but you will be able to do this in just a few weeks' time. Can you turn on my screen, please? Yeah, there it is. So essentially, there it is. Like, if you go into competitors, here's what you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see, hey, here are the competitors that are being mentioned alongside my brand, what their average position is, what their visibility is compared to you, and super important too, what was the sentiment around the mentions? And if I'm getting more positive sentiment compared to my competitors, and what are the kind of the keywords behind it. Right. I think I've already showed more than I wanted to. Sorry, I just got really excited.
Yeah, that was really exciting. I was like, oh, what the keywords, the number of keywords, and that's really good, because I think with that, a lot of SEOs think that you have to invent a new thing, when it's just, you can look at people's strategies and your competitor strategies, see what keywords are coming up, and sort of target it that way as well. So that's really, really good to have that insight. One question by Juliana. Yana asks, will there be estimated volume of prompts available? So is it, do we have, different tiers for different number of prompts?
Very good question. We kind of touched on this, right? This is a really big problem in the industry overall right now, and people are pouring in literally millions into figuring this out, including us. And hopefully in September, what you'll see is a relative volume is what we're going to start with. Essentially, if a particular prompt is really low frequency, or if it's like a medium frequency or high frequency, that's what we're going to start with. But then in Q4, something that we have in the works already is we're going to give you a true ML-powered search volume estimate. That is something that we're working on. It's just not easy to get to a solution that will be, well, at least somewhat reliable, where you look at it and you tell, yeah, you know what, we can actually deliver this to our customers, and we think they'll be happy with this. So not yet. There's no estimated volume for prompts just yet, but this is something that's coming.
Amazing. Back to reporting. So this is from Chris Tanti, which is really good, and I like this question. Will these LLM features have a Looker Studio data connector?
Yes, definitely. We're actually considering the API. Yes, like just plain API is going to be there. We've already introduced the AIO research API. AI mode research API is coming next in a few weeks. SERP API for AI overviews is coming in a week or two, and then the rest of the systems are also going to be available throughout September through API. And we are looking to package all this into the Looker connector too, so that, and we're going to have a pre-built template for you too, so that you can just load it up and connect with your Google Analytics and see what's going on. So yes, we do understand Looker is kind of ubiquitous tool across the industry. Just everybody uses it, and yeah, it's in progress, something we're working on.
Amazing. We do have other questions as well. Gary had asked, is there a clear action for adding prompts to a project when he's enabled a new search engine within a project? This is from Gary Gallagher.
Can you cite the question here on the screen so I also can read this? I'm not sure I totally understood it.
He asked again, is there a clear action for adding prompts to a project when I've enabled a new search engine within a project?
Oh, yeah. So let me just go ahead and share my screen again. Can we turn on the screen share? All right. Yeah, so here I'm in the project. I'm in the AI results tracker right here. I already have a few added. I have my ChatGPT for Portugal. I have AI mode for US and ChatGPT for US. And so if I go into project settings, into search engines, in the search engines now, we have two groups of search engines, right? One group is for, let's put it like traditional search engines. Another one is for AI search engines. And I can add a new one from here, which in this case it was a traditional one, or I can pick, again, Google AI mode. I can pick ChatGPT. So once I've selected that, I can pick a country. I can change the brand definition the way I see it and edit. I already have a few edited. And when I go to keywords, again, this is split into two tabs for search and AI search. And within AI search, I can pick for which systems I want to add the new prompts. For example, I don't know, I'm in Pendodoc project. Let's say it's what are the best e-signature solutions for, let's say, sales-led mid-market business. So that would be my prompt, and just click on adding this to both or just one of them, right? So that's what I did. I just added these keywords, and I go back to the project. Here in rankings, if I go into the systems that I've added the keywords to, you can see them there at the bottom. And obviously for previous dates, it says no data, and for today, it's still updating. It typically takes sometimes a few minutes, maybe up to an hour, depending on the queue load, because we have quite a few customers who are already relying on this to get the data in. So that's how you add keywords or prompts to the system. I hope I've answered the question.
No, and I think that was a good demonstration. I'm seeing in the comments a really cool debate happening, talking about whether AI and what's the difference between traditional SEO and now that we have AI involved. Kind of being, the looking at the product. How do you think, this is just a spin-off, but let's kind of get into it. How do you think this new AI toolkit will change the game from traditional SEO, and what kind of things do you feel like other SEOs will really find impactful about this?
Okay, I'll start with a personal example. Just yesterday, we had our kind of executive meeting where we're reviewing our overall company state, what's going on, right? And we're talking about let's say one of the products that we're offering, and what we're seeing is the total amount of traffic in this cluster, in this niche, is not growing. It's actually declining over the past few months. But then when we look at the business results and the number of leads that we're getting there, they're actually better. There are more of them. And so what we believe in is that the marketing teams are not going to be judged. The amount of traffic that you're getting was already not the best metric, because there's different quality of traffic, right? But it's going to be even less of an important metric on its own, focusing just on traffic, right? Because the quality and intent of the traffic has been changing so rapidly. Like, we're getting almost the same number of brand visits, but they're far high quality. Where do we think they're coming from? Yeah, probably they've just done their research in ChatGPT, right? That's what happened. And so that's what we think is happening in terms of just overall assessing the quality of the results that you're getting from your marketing team and from the SEO work and optimization work. And then there's going to be a further merge and kind of cooperation probably between SEO and PR teams and SMM teams. Because when you look at the sources and just the factors that impact your brand's likelihood of being mentioned, it's number one, just the sheer amount of pages and websites that are talking about you, right? That's number one. And one of the biggest sources is social, something like Reddit, Facebook, and others. And so social is becoming critical. But then proper news outlets are also having even bigger impact than they used to have, because they have so much trust from AI search engines. And because of that, there's just this merging of cross-disciplinary efforts that is happening right now. And so because of that, maybe we'll just see one professional that is managing like all of this with the hundreds of AI agents. I'm not sure, but yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of overlap that is happening between different teams in our organization definitely, and from what I can see in others too.
Yeah,
Rejoice, is that what you're going to say?
No, I agree with that. I think especially the point about that overlap. I think traditional SEO had a funny way of kind of placing SEO in its own silo, and I think now with the introduction of AI, it's kind of allowed us to create an ecosystem within digital marketing, where SEO now can be in that center connecting to so many teams. So I think that's the beauty of, introducing AI. And I think even the beauty of these tools is now we can actually make business cases, because we can actually say, hey, the brand's been mentioned X amount of times in LLM models and in this certain AI powered engine. And we can now make that case, and now we can get listened to, not a lot of pushbacks from managers or C-suite. So that's really exciting. I really do like that point.
Yeah.
Speaking of LLMs, Xavier has asked, which LLMs can you include beside AI overviews, AI mode, and ChatGPT? Are there any other LLMs coming into play later on?
Yeah, so AI overviews, AI mode, ChatGPT already available. Gemini and Perplexity coming close soon, like early September, late August. And next, we're running a bunch of tests with everything else, right? With Claude, with Copilot, with Meta. So these are the three that we're considering as coming in next. So over Q3, you'll definitely see more than just Gemini and Perplexity in September. You'll see a few more in Q4. Likely
Amazing.
Meta Copilot. Yeah.
That's really exciting. I think, introducing more LLMs kind of give people a bit more to research, because it'll be great, especially from a comparative perspective. See how you come up in ChatGPT. Is it the same with Perplexity? Is it the same with AI overviews? And that way you can kind of determine what content you need to sort of post. But I mentioned content, right?
Can we try to? I see there are actually a bunch of comments about availability and add-on. Let's just try to take this head on. There's like a 10, 20 of them. Like it's not available on this plan, on that plan. So
yeah,
for clarity, these features are available on Pro plan and above, right? So you see AO research, A mode research, and everything else. So they are available in Pro plan, on a business plan, and above. The rank tracking, the AI results tracking is also available for Pro and above. And yeah, so they're available for all these plans, for recent plans. It's just that we also have folks who are using our plans with pricing circa like 2020, right, where the price is very different, and we just cannot afford to put in the limits for like AI results tracking, because they're actually far more expensive for us in terms of the infrastructure. And that's actually the big reason you're seeing separate add-ons for AI search across the players. Like when you think about creating a database like what we're creating, this is dozens, if not thousands of hundreds of dollars that you have to spend on this every month to keep it up to date. And then with AI results tracking, it's very similar. We're not doing something like as simple as, hey, I just go ahead and I check the AI results themselves. I parse out the content and that's it. No, what we're doing right now behind the scenes, and what you're going to see in the app soon, is we are checking all of the sources, their content. We are doing fan-out query analysis. So for each prompt that there's the answer that you see, we're developing the algorithm that there's guessing essentially. There are a lot of tools like that already, but we're using our data to decide what are the most likely search queries that the search engine is doing. Like with OpenAI and their ChatGPT, we're doing queries to Bing, extra queries to Bing, like 5 to 10 of them, to see what are the top 100 results, to see what are the pages there, which ones actually made it into the source content, and what kind of brands were mentioned there. And we're actually working on more on top of that. And that's the reason you're not gonna just see the mention. You're gonna see far more. It's just that, at this stage, we're not exposing all of this, but you'll see it soon enough.
No, thank you for covering that, because there was lots of comments asking about access. That's really good. Just going back to content, what's it called? Lauwood asks, is it possible to link it to the content editor?
Oh, the content editor, yes, definitely. So the content editor is something that's going to be linked in through the kind of the becoming the source track. That's the way we think about it right now. We are running this operation where we're kind of analyzing the the vector similarity of content on your pages and within different sources to what the AI response is. And then we're going to be recommending you what kind of content you want to change to get closer to covering the topic that you need to cover for AI to consider your response. And that is going to be tied into the content editor. But then depending on the question, this could be about something else, like this new feature, meaning that so that the content editor can just analyze the response for a particular prompt. I'm not sure. Maybe if you can follow up in the comment, we'll further unravel this topic.
No, amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah, like if you can follow up in the comments. Interesting question from Chris. Chris Tanti asks, the SE ranking page optimization tool is very focused on keywords. Will you be adding fan out synthetic query optimization?
Yes. That's what I've just been saying. Yes. So that's something that we're already working on. We're going to first introduce the mention optimization, because for mentions, you don't need the fan outs, right? You want to focus on being mentioned in sources and knowing which sources to be mentioned in. So that's just easier to introduce for us, and it's going to be easier for you to manage. But then, yes, the fan out queries is a part of becoming a source. Maybe, I don't know. Give me a second. I'll try to find a link to show you what it might look like. Hopefully so just don't take these designs too seriously. They will change definitely through development. So don't quote me on this in a few weeks that, oh, you know what, Mike said this is going to look exactly this way. It's not going to look exactly this way, but it's going to look similar. Just a moment. Yeah. Right. So here's the idea, right? For every prompt, as I said, we're generating fan out queries, typically 5 to 10 of them. We look at, and essentially we're going to tell you one of two things that you want to do. You either want to start ranking for this query, or you need to change the content. And we're assessing essentially how similar your content is to what AI is looking to show, and that's what you can expect. I know this looks probably far from easy to comprehend because this is just internal stuff for now, but that's the idea.
No, that's really good. Good question about schema. So this is from Glebe. Glebe asks, how much schema supports AI visibility?
How much schema supports AI visibility? Well, so I cannot definitively answer this question right now. Anecdotally, we're seeing that it does. We're seeing that author does, having dates does, and it can be any schema actually. It could be one of the three most popular essentially. So all of them typically work, but it does impact it positively. That's what we're seeing, especially having like a high AAT author is a big one. Having dates is a big one. For some, depending on topics, sometimes you want to have, you're in your niche, you might want to have like FAQ, you might want to have, obviously, as it was in the past, like, cite quotes from your customers and stuff like that, all of that. But even more exciting right now, we've collected this list of, I think right now the list is like 80 parameters. We started with 40, now it's 80. We are right now parsing this huge base of pages and results for a few 100,000 keywords. And what we want to bring to you is research that kind of gives you a more or less definitive answer on what kind of technical parameters, including some of the schema ones, you want to optimize for to rank better in AI search. So that's something that we're working on right now in terms of research. We already have a lot of data, and hopefully the research is going to come out soon. I'm actually going to be talking about it in September at a conference. So yeah, watch out for news from us on this.
Amazing. Gary had a question, and I really did like the question as well. So Gary asked, if I run AIO research on a website, can I then add the keywords or prompts to a project within AI search that he's already created?
Yes, you can. Unfortunately, it's not right now. It's not really well integrated, but you can still do, it's not like one-click thing, it's just a few more clicks. So let me share my screen and let's go ahead and see how you can do this. Yeah, so right now it's just good old copy and paste. Unfortunately, that's the way I do it. You can go ahead, go into, have your website, go into the actual prompts or keywords. You click on it, right? And then when you, sorry, just open it a pop-up, and I'm only sharing this screen. So let me just, so when I click on the keyword, it opens the keyword research for me, where I have this keyword. From here, you can open it to, you can add it into either to Keyword Manager or to your regular project. So if I edit to my project, let's say I'm just adding it to all of the trackers, it's going to appear in my regular projects, and through there I can add it to the AIO tracker. With the release of an update later in the month, we're going to unify AIO tracking and ChatGPT tracking and AI mode tracking. It's going to be all available right here in the project, and it's going to be easier for you to add keywords right from research in here. Right now, this is the only like relatively easy way to do it. You just go ahead, add it to a project, and from here, you can then click on the keyword that you've added to the project to track it for AIO research. Sorry, AIO rank tracking. So that's the way. Or yeah, for AIO tracking, that's the way. Once we unify the solutions, the process is going to be the same as I've just shown for AI results tracker. So in 2 weeks, if you go to, again, you just go to the project settings, to keywords, you pick the search engines that you want to add the prompts to, and you just type them in here. You can just paste them in. That's the process for now. And we're going to add the ease of use, the UX integrations to make it easy, just click on the keyword there and redirect them to the tracker very soon as a follow-up to unifying the solutions. I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear. But, yeah.
But it's still a process, and I think you guys working on making it a lot more convenient. It is great. Interestingly, Yamal mentioned that she doesn't work in SEO, so she's not sure how beneficial the AI toolkit is. So outside of SEO people, who else can benefit from using SE Ranking's AI toolkit?
Oh, I mean, AI search is so much more than SEO. What we're seeing, honestly, we're seeing just plain CMOs setting this up and just to understand what's going on for them versus their competition. And this is where one of the screens that I was sharing comes in play. We see our PR brand managers working on this too, just seeing, hey, if any of the links are that they're working on with the news outlets are becoming the sources for us. Our content marketing team is doing this nonstop. We actually have just a dedicated team that works on just getting mentions in AI search, and this is not our typical SEO team right now. Although we see within a lot of organizations is the SEO specialists that do this.
Yeah, and I think AI toolkit can go beyond SEO, as you mentioned. It can be used within PR teams as well. Even I think I mentioned the toolkit within the company I work for, and how the PR team can use it, and they seem quite exciting. So there's so many ways you can actually make it work for you and your business, or you and your clients. As Mike said, it's way more beyond SEO in general. But we have one last question from Louise. Louise from Digital Hummingbird asked, will the prompt research be available in the keyword research section?
It will. So yeah, we're starting with competitor research because it is where people typically start. But then the plan is for later in Q4 only, where we'll have a prompt research solution where you'll be able to look at prompts through the lens of, hey, here are the industries or niches that I'm looking at. Here are the topics and subtopics, and then kind of the groups of prompts. You'll almost never work with actual prompts because they are so unique. What we're seeing that they don't repeat as often as regular keywords, and so we're grouping them together. And that's actually what's taking the time to come up with this proper solution to group them properly so it's actually usable for you. But yeah, it's going to be there, and you'll be able to see actual prompt examples within the group to see like what people are actually typing in for each group. So it is coming. This is probably late Q4, maybe January 2026. First, we're focusing on computer research, and then making sure that when you are optimizing for prompts already, that you know how to do it, that you can execute on it.
I think it's really exciting, all the rollouts that's coming with SE ranking. But we only have I guess 4 minutes left. So I think that was the last question. So thank you everyone for your questions. They're really exciting. I'm loving the conversation being had in the comment section, people kind of answering each other. So thank you so much. If we go back to the slides, just sort of to take you out. So there is a special offer on at the moment, so you can get 10% off any of the annual AI search add-on subscription. Each of them is, you have different tiers, but coming very soon for all tiers, there will be that daily tracking of Gemini and Perplexity results. There will be expanded limits for competitive research, which is a conversation and a topic people were asking about. There'll be new standalone product to analyze within the AI search visibility, and you have that detailed source analysis across the AI search systems. So again, special offer at the moment. So if you guys can get onto it, and again, we'd love to sort of hear the stories around how you're using it for your business, how you're creating great quality content with it, and what else you're doing with it, because the world of AI at the moment is exciting, it's new, and we can do so much. Within the next slide. So we do have at the moment, so SE ranking, as you all know, is an SEO platform. Even though it's an SEO platform, it's not limited to just SEO. So it's very much a tool that you can use for several things, from competitor research to website auditing, backlinks checker, keyword ranking, and way more than 30 other SEO tools out there. There's so much you can do within the SEO ranking platform as well. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about the Do Follow podcast. That will definitely come on to later. Some of us have the 2 different emails, right? You can use a business email, you can use your personal email, but just a little tip, if you use your business email, you will be able to unlock way more features compared to the personal email. But both, again, we will be able to sort of play around with the SE ranking platform. So don't you worry. And then there is also a community, a SEO ranking community out there. Please join that community. These sort of conversations that's happening within SEO, happening within marketing, are very important. And within the community, you have the chance to test new tools before they're officially released. Ask the SEO ranking team questions. I know you guys have loads more questions. Enter giveaway. Who doesn't want to win some swag? And I do love the SEO ranking swag. And you can also chat with like-minded people. This is what the marketing community is about. Us having these conversations, us exploring different tools, and actually making a difference so that we can produce great work. And lastly, it's about the Do Follow podcast. Great podcast, if I do say so myself. Very in-depth conversations happening, different topics. Some topics are around AI as well. You get to explore so many actionable tips. You get to listen to experts and their insights, and as well stay up to date with what's happening within the SEO and wider marketing community. So this has been a really, really great demo. Thank you, Mike, for your time. It's been so impactful, so interesting. So please give them, no worries. Give
Thank you, Joyce.
Yeah.
And everybody, I see there are still a lot of questions about the add-on. So if you still want to stay, we can again try to get back to the slide and talk through this one more time really quickly regarding the availability. Maybe we can go back to the slide. Yeah, thank you. So this add-on is actually going live for like purchase through our sales success and support team probably on Monday. That's when it's going to go live. The features are already available for Pro plan and above customers. You can also sign up for a trial and try them out. If you are on one of the legacy plans, like from 2018, I see people are saying, or like 2016 or earlier, or like Sumo app, you won't have these features available right away. So what you can do is you can either reach out through support to our success team and ask like what how it can get an upgrade. And there are like significant discounts that we offer for these long-term customers compared to the list price, right? And you will have these features already available to you within Pro Plan and Business Plan. And it's just that the limits of prompts are not as generous as they are for regular keywords. You'll have on the Pro Plan, you'll have 50 prompts that you can track. On Business Plan, there's 100 prompts that you can track. And you are going to have access to AIO and AI mode research without any limitations for now while they're still in beta. And later they're going to become a part of the add-on with, again, similarly not as generous limits included into the main SEO subscription. So I hope that this make it a bit easier to understand. Sorry for not making it super clear.
No, thank you for that. Thank you. So yeah, guys, please give SEO Ranking a follow. They are on X, they are on LinkedIn. So they're on so many platforms as well as YouTube and Facebook. So we'll love to have you guys back with the next workshop with your burning questions so we can get those answered and share all the wonderful things that SEO Ranking are doing. So, but thank you, Mike. You've honestly gone through a really great demo showing us all the features, what to expect, and even providing that exclusive as well. So thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Rejoice, for hosting this amazing event.
No worries. Thank you, guys.